Hi everybody, good morning. This is Mr. Waxler, one of the U.S. history teachers at Barrington High School. I'm here today to walk you through the Confirming and Critiquing the American Dream sitcoms through the second half of the 20th century semester concluding project. Your teacher may have modified this slightly, but the basic will apply to all U.S. history classes. At its core, this project asks you to evaluate how the American Dream was present in TV shows from different eras, starting in the 1950s and going all the way up to the modern day. I'm going to scroll through the assignment packet and stopping along the way to clarify any points that you might have. So, we're going to start off with a disclaimer that each one of these TV shows reflects the era in which it was produced and filmed. And in different eras of American history, different norms, values, and cultural aspects were present. That may mean that in the 1960s and 70s and 80s, television shows reflected treatment of people in ways that is no longer acceptable. We and you should live by our modern values, our 21st century values. And these are primary sources in the TV episodes. So, the project structure. Before you watch the sitcoms, we're going to ask you to answer a series of questions about the American Dream, and we're going to ask you to take notes about what historical context it was for the decade. Meaning, if a TV show is from the 1950s, think about what you covered in class and write down for the historical context what was going on in the 1950s. For example, you may choose to write down things like the Cold War or the Civil Rights Movement. You're then going to watch your assigned episodes on certain days. Some days there will be 2 episodes, some days there will be 3 episodes. Each episode is approximately 20 minutes long. As you watch, you're going to take notes about how the show portrays several things. Men and women, men and women, children, how they relate to each other, the parents and the children, what successes, what failures happen, how money, race, motivations, power, authority, and culture are reflected in the show. Remember, these are primary sources made during the time period that they are reflecting. So, for the show Leave It to Beaver, which is the first episode that you're going to watch, that was made in the 1950s, and as a result, it's a primary source of what the 1950s were like. You should have 3 questions in mind as you watch each episode. First, what do you think the American Dream means today? How does it relate to that episode? What do you think the American Dream meant in the various decades represented in the episodes? And third, how do you think the American Dream is represented on TV today? As you watch these episodes from the 1950s all the way up through the 2000s, contrast them with some of the TV episodes that you watch today, or some of the media that you consume today, and think about how are these different. For each episode that you watch, you are going to complete a synopsis sheet. They may call it also an organizer. And for each one of these graphic organizers, you are going to analyze and write down evidence from the episode you watch. These organizers are going to provide the evidence for the final capstone project. So you'll watch 2 or 3 episodes on each one of the Phillies assigned days, currently Wednesdays and Fridays. So your homework for Wednesday, the 6th, will be to watch 2 episodes and complete 3 short questions at the beginning. After viewing all of the episodes you're assigned by your teacher in this project, you're going to find 2 sitcoms on your own from the 2000s, 2010s, and today as well. One of them is going to be a sitcom that you believe confirms the American Dream, that demonstrates that the American Dream is present. The other sitcom is going to be the one that you believe critiques the American Dream, or provides commentary, or somehow makes the argument that the American Dream is not fully present. These are going to be used to compare and contrast the American Dream today. Number 5, you'll see on your screen, is the wrap-up or summative element of this project. We use the term summative here not in a grading context, but in a wrapping up or concluding context. You will demonstrate your understanding of whether the American Dream is achievable as represented in sitcoms by responding to the following prompt and describing 3 to 5 pieces of evidence from the sitcoms you've watched that support your position. The prompt is, after everything you have seen in the different sitcoms, what are the successes and challenges in achieving the American Dream? This will not be a full essay. It will be a shorter writing assignment. You will For Mr. Waxler, use a hook, a thesis. You'll describe your evidence and explain how it relates back to your thesis. So this is the schedule. It's important to note that this entire project is not due on Friday. You will have the next 2 weeks plus 1 day to work on this project. Your teacher has created a chart for you in this assignment that helpfully lays out what day something is assigned, the episodes that you do that day, and when it's due. So for Wednesday, 5-6, you have the assignments to complete the Previewing American Dream questions, which will be on the next page here. You'll watch Season 1, Episode 33 from the 1950s sitcom Leave It to Beaver. And the 1960s sitcom That Girl, you'll watch Season 1, Episode 2, Goodbye, Hello, Goodbye. The organizers for these 2 episodes, as well as the Previewing American Dream questions, will be due on Friday the 8th. Then you'll see on Friday the 8th, your assignment is to watch 3 and complete the organizer, and those will be due Wednesday the 13th. You have several more days, so we give you 3 here instead of 2. For Wednesday, the assignment is to watch 2. For Friday, your assignment is to watch 3. And then Wednesday, your only work is to complete the capstone reflection, where you'll create a hook, a thesis, describe your evidence, and explain how it connects to your thesis. So, your homework for Wednesday the 6th, to be completed during the social studies time, is to complete these 3 Previewing American Dream questions. These are not based on any specific episodes that you've already watched. This is based on your background knowledge or what you've learned throughout the course. These are opinion questions, but they should be answered completely in full sentences. I'm not going to go over each one of the organizers for each show because the organizer is common across all shows. So regardless of the episode you watch, the organizer is the same. You'll see the title of the show, Leave It to Beaver, the years the show was on, 1957 to 1963, and then you'll see episode link. And when you tap on that, it'll take you to the video site where you can watch the episode. It's important to note you do not need a subscription or a paid access to any site in order to watch all of these episodes. You'll also see where it says Wally's Job as the title of the episode. You can go there and it'll take you to the IMDb link that will provide you some more information about the episode. We've also put a short synopsis of the episode below. So you'll complete, before you start, the historical context evidence from the time period. So the time period of the show is 1957 to 1963. So think to yourself, what's going on in 1957 to 1963, and you write it in that box. As you watch the show, you'll complete observational notes. That means, how are the following things present? So you don't need to answer all of these in complete sentences. This is a time for bullet points or to draw arrows to where what success or failure might look like. But you should try for each character to get a handle on, are they successful, are they not, are they wealthy, are they not, what is the neighborhood that they live in, what do they find funny, are they making any political jokes or political references, what do they seem to be motivated by. In the formal response space, this is where you will write in complete sentences, how does this sitcom confirm or critique the American dream as defined after World War II? Or, was the American dream achieved by the sitcom and its family group? And you'll explain. This is where you're going to start making your argument about, is the American dream present? And what are the successes and failures from the episodes? And then finally, you'll notice at the very end, it says, how have things changed since this time period? So think about 2020 America today, and then think about the episode you just watched and think, how have things changed? You'll notice for the That Girl episode that the format is the same. You have a link to the IMDb page, a link to the episode, as well as a short synopsis of the summary for the episode and the completion date that's required. There is an organizer for each one of these, and as I scroll through, you can see the organizer for each one. Again, important to note that you do not need to complete all of these in one day. You will complete these over the course of the next 2 weeks. The final activity is you're going to find your own evidence in a modern sitcom, 2010s and today. So we've provided a list of some of the different episodes you can use. These are possible 21st century sitcoms. If you have any questions, please contact your teacher before you complete a whole bunch of work that is not in line with the project. And in the box, you'll see here, you're going to complete the sitcom that confirms the American dream and the title of the sitcom, and the sitcom that critiques the American dream and the title of the sitcom. The capstone that you complete is to use a thesis statement, your evidence that you've seen from across the episodes, and an explanation of the successes and challenges in achieving the American dream. You'll notice this should be written out in a minimum of 1 paragraph. You're going to explain and connect your evidence to support your thesis or claim. This often means, as I say in class, that you'll use because statements. The reason that this evidence from a specific TV show proves my claim that the American dream is more present or not present is because. And then you'll tell us how the evidence proves your claim. This is often called reasoning or historical thinking and is required in order to successfully complete the capstone or summative element of this project. If you have any questions, you should be sure to contact your teacher, join them during office hours, or send them an email, and they will help you explain this project further. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this helpful.